Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well, and I hope you've enjoyed the first 11 videos I've done for you. This will be number 12, and it's been so much fun. As you might guess, I'm a big fan of the Great British Baking Show and Mary Berry, who's one of the judges on the show. It's the end of the summer, and I like to squeeze out the last little bit of the summer I can. So today I'm going to make a meringue cake that is based on one of Mary Berry's recipes in this book. And I just love all of her recipes. This cake is made with dried meringue, and it's really light. It is so pretty. It would make a really good summer cake or Labor Day weekend get-together cake, and I thought you guys might enjoy this. The first thing we need are 5 egg whites. In Mary Berry's recipe, it calls for 4, but she's using a little bit smaller pans than I do. Mine are 9-inch pans, and she's using the 8-inch. So I'm gonna use an extra egg white just to make sure that I get the height that we need for this recipe. I like to separate the egg in 1 measuring cup and then pour it in the bowl one at a time, so that if I get any of the egg yolk in, then I won't be ruining all of my egg whites. There's 1. You could save these egg yolks for custard or something, but I'm not going to do that today. And with meringue, you can't get any egg yolk in the egg whites, or it will not make the meringue. There can't be any fat whatsoever, so if there is any kind of like oily residue in your bowl, it must be very clean before you make meringue, or it won't work. Okay, last one. We're going to be adding walnuts to the meringue, so I'm going to toast them up just a little bit. And if you watch the British Baking Show, you know that they weigh a lot of their ingredients. And that is actually a very good way to do things. I've had this kitchen scale for a long time, and you can switch to grams instead of ounces. And I use it all the time. If you get one, you'll use it way more than you think you do. And I'm just going to show you how this is done. You don't have to do it this way, but it's 312 grams is what I would like to do for this recipe. Since we're making one of Mary Berry's recipes, I want to do it the way she does it. When I put my container on the scale, then I turn it on and it zeroes it out. So it's as if the container is not on the scale. If you already put your container on there, this one has a 0, and you can always zero it out and just make it 0. So we need 312 grams. Is it on grams? Yeah, it's on there. There it goes, 313, that's close enough. We're gonna whip up these egg whites until they're stiff, and then we're gonna start adding the sugar. Mary Berry says to whip them until stiff peaks form, so I think we're there. So we're gonna start adding the sugar in there about 1 tablespoon at a time. And I'm gonna try to do it left-handed. Now we're going to add a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. It just helps to stabilize the egg whites. Okay, look at that. It looks so good. It says a few drops of vanilla. Since vanilla is dark, she probably just doesn't want you to turn it brown. This smells so good. It smells like vanilla and sugar. Now we need to grease our pans with some butter. Make sure you get it all the way up the sides. I almost forgot to add our toasted walnuts. We're just going to fold it into the meringue here. Blueberries says to preheat the oven to 190 Celsius, and that works out to about 374 degrees Fahrenheit. Or she says you can cook it at 170 convection, and I have a convection oven, and since it's meringue and it needs to kind of dry, I wanted to use that fan, so I set mine at 338 degrees convection. But you can do 375 degrees Fahrenheit if you don't want to use convection. It'll work just fine. So now we can split this up between these two pans and bake it. Now we smooth it out and make it as flat as we can. And I just go ahead and smooth it to the edges of the pan, just so that it's touching. I'm going to try to show you. Just touching the sides. And all this butter will make it easy for this to come out. I have these pretty flat, but I'm going to try to use this offset knife to make it a little flatter, since these are going to be layers. Okay, now we just bake these for 30 minutes. You want to lick the meringue? Okay, our meringue cake is finished baking, and I'm gonna get it out of the oven. Look how good this looks. You're supposed to cool this on a wire rack, but I don't have one big enough, so I'm going to do it on plates. Okay, see how easily that came out? And it's because we put a lot of butter on it. We're going to assemble the cake after it cools. Our meringue cakes are cooled, and I need to make some whipped cream. I'm going to use 10 to 12 ounces. I'm going to go ahead and use 12 ounces to make sure I have enough to cover everything. Okay, that looks about right. We have enough whipped cream, so now we can start assembling the cake. Next, I'm going to prepare some strawberries. I'm just going to take the tops off and just cut them in half. I'll try to use strawberries with a similar size. I use the prettiest ones for the top. Now we can try to move one of these to the cake stand. We'll cross our fingers that it stays in one piece. All right. They kind of cave in a little bit in the middle, but that's okay because we're going to put whipped cream in it. I like to push some up on the side just so when we sandwich these together you can still see the whipped cream. And just a little bit more. Now I'm gonna take some strawberry halves and just go around in a circle with them. These don't have to be the same size. Since they're in the center, no one can see these. Now for some blueberries. And now we'll get the top on. We'll put the rest of the whipped cream on top. Some more in the center. Okay, now for the pretty strawberries. And I think what I'll do is just put some blueberries in the center. Then we just go over it with some powdered sugar. Can't stand it, I have to take a picture. Look how pretty this is. It's so airy and light. I know it's probably not non-fattening, but you could use light Cool Whip if you wanted to, and then it would be really light. But it's light tasting and it's not heavy and rich. I'm so excited how this turned out. It's so pretty and it could be a showstopper at your party. And it's easy to do. If I can do it, anyone can do it. I hope you try this recipe and I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next one.